Well, hello and welcome, Cloud Foundry Weekly viewers. As you can see, our dear friend Nikki is out this week. He's off traveling and couldn't make the time slot, but we should still have a great show for you lined up today. We have our special guest ready to go here, and I've been working with Oded for quite some time. But Oded, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We've definitely seen you in comments before, and I know you've watched before. So
That's true.
I guess
Yeah.
welcome to the show. Great to have you on as an official guest, and we'll kind of welcome you to the show. So, do you have any kind of fun? Like, we kind of start the show off maybe with a little bit of banter of just what's kind of going on with you in in your current life situation. So, do you have any fun things to share? Anything kind of fun that you've been experimenting with on the side?
Oh boy, yeah, lots of things. Ever since the Spring AI project came to life, I've been even since the earlier days of like milestone releases and things like that. I've been playing around with it quite a lot.
Okay.
I
You
really
see your
think it's like
spring T-shirt. So yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
this is like mandatory clothing in this household. Um, yeah. So yeah, I've been playing a lot with Spring AI. I really think it's like the most exciting thing in Spring for a very, very long time. Like ever since maybe Spring Data or Spring Boot, who knows?
Nice, very cool.
This whole ecosystem of like AI, man, it's just it never stops. You know, every month you have something new coming up that you want to learn about. Fascinating stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And we'll give a shout out to your son in chat. I think he's watching, so that's pretty cool. In my neck of
Hello,
the
Noam.
woods,
Hello, Amit. Hello, Ronnie. Yeah.
yeah, very cool. In my neck of the woods, I've been expanding the Coon Labs data center a lot recently, getting some more capacity online. So I've been doing a lot of hardware troubleshooting lately, but I'm getting through all of that, and we'll have some more things to share here in the future. But I guess first and foremost, or kind of get into the main programming. Actually, before that, so you've been in the Cloud Foundry scene for quite some time.
Oh yeah.
And I think since you're a first time guest on the show, I guess we have to ask you. Do you remember your first CF push or your first Cloud Foundry experience? What was that like? How did you really kind of get started in this ecosystem?
Yeah. So I've been a big chunk of my career. I've been working for Amdocs. It's a big billing company, U.S.-based billing company, and they work a lot with the U.S. telcos and around the globe. And one of those telcos had quite a large Cloud Foundry footprint. We won't name names because I don't know if it's something they want to share, but
Yeah.
it was probably one of the largest deployments in the world back in the day. I'm talking about like 2016, 2017, something like that. And I've been a Spring developer for quite a long time. By that point, I've been a software architect working on pretty major releases. I think you probably felt that the same way, where you like move from let's run on some JVM in a Linux container to let's just take the code and have it magically scale and auto scale and handle the URLs for me. And back then, the whole craze of microservices and Spring Boot, so everything related to Eureka and config server, all these things I pretty much got them for free from a platform, right? And
Nice.
for me, it was like a candy store, right? And I've worked quite a long time on that environment. At some point, my company, decided to shift towards Kubernetes, like many back then, and I really I just felt the friction like every day, right? So at some point, maybe I'll just share this one for a second.
Sure.
How do we share here? Oh yeah, hopefully
You
this
should
is it.
add your screen there. I think I know what you're going to be pulling up here. I think it's a.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll add
So this is
page
something I
here.
wrote at the end of 2017. Jeez, I'm old,
Yeah.
man. So this is like an article I wrote back in the day, kind of like trying to highlight what I felt like as a developer and what I felt like, the benefits that a developer gets when he uses a platform as a service like Cloud Foundry.
Hmm.
compared to like, a low-level infrastructure solution like Kubernetes, and the different types of benefit that you get when you really get like an out-of-the-box experience. Now, obviously, interestingly, a lot of the notions here are, you know, a bit outdated. Obviously, things changed,
Right.
but I think the core principles really stayed the same. I have some very OG, old school
Yeah.
Ops
Very.
Manager UI here.
Yes. Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
Very cool.
version 1.4. Wow. Today
Nice.
we're at
Yeah.
3.1, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Three. Yeah. Yeah. I think the latest version of Ops Manager is 3.1.1. I was actually
Yeah.
just getting ready to upgrade my environment after the show. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool here. Yeah. These are some OG screens here for
Yes,
sure.
definitely. Anyway,
But
this
a
got
lot
a
of
lot of
these.
traction.
Hmm.
At some point it was I think one of the most popular results when you Googled for Cloud Foundry on Google,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
it was a lot of discussion about the two. And that's really how I got to Pivotal. Like, the Pivotal reached out to me, got it along with all of the onboarding to be a platform architect. And,
Hmm.
nothing's been the same ever since, I guess.
Right. Now
That's
it's
pretty
it's
much it.
2025 and we're still here. So yeah,
We're
very
still
cool. And
here and still chugging along, and this is like better than ever, right? This is the
right.
amazing piece. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Uh,
I think too, fast forward, like, yeah, the article is from 2017. I think that's very timely for 2017. I still think almost all of it applies, even more
yeah.
so today as we see this advent of the vibe coding situation where people are just creating apps, and then just it would be great just to have a really low friction platform just to push those apps to. And I think even the
Yeah.
last episode we had, Darren was on the show, and we kind of vibe coded
Love
a
that.
simple web app really quick, and like the model's just like CF push, like, yeah, let's do it, and like ready to
Hmm.
go, right? So I think
Exactly. I
it's
I
very,
think back in
very relevant still.
2017, there was a lot of like you had to prove, because the hype cycle of the tech world. It's like
Hmm.
Kubernetes is the solution to everything. Now, what's the problem? That's
Right. Yeah.
basically how it
Exactly.
felt back
Hmm.
then.
Hmm.
And I think with advents like Google Cloud Run and Amazon App Engine and not App
Hmm.
Engine. What do they call their solution? I keep forgetting. App Runner, right? Something like that.
Yeah, they have 4,000,
Yeah.
I think, solutions.
So I think
Can't keep
people
track of them.
understand that they need a simpler solution for the
Hmm.
developers, right?
Hmm.
And Cloud Foundry is still, I think, is the most proven rock solid solution. Along the years, I've been reading some articles. I think
Hmm.
you'd like
Hmm.
this one. This is like another OG, The Value of Bosch.
Oh, yes.
The title, the team changed to the Tanzu team, but I wrote this one. That's I remember.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think probably one of the biggest benefits of Cloud Foundry is Bosch, and people, because it works so well, people tend to forget that it exists. But
Hmm.
this is
Hmm.
the real magic behind the scenes, right? So yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of interesting work along the years. Obviously, a lot of Kubernetes in between. We all work in this ecosystem, so a lot of
Hmm.
Kubernetes in between. But Cloud Foundry is still the king for me. That's for sure.
Oh, very cool. Great to hear. That was a great story, and I love the OG blogs. Still very relevant today.
Yeah.
So I guess now if we go into the current time, the age of generative AI, right?
Oh yeah.
I've if anyone's watching the show, I've done a lot of work on this thing called the Gen AI on Tanzu Platform tile here, and I've spoken with and worked with a lot of different POCs and customers throughout the, I guess, 2 or 3 years now, and something that I think when we originally started this, being native English speakers, we didn't really quite think about non-native or non English speaking languages, and how these models and the platform would either how it would handle a different language, like like Japanese or Italian or Hebrew, or like all these different languages. Some of them are okay, some of them are not, and I started to see this coming up with more and more customers, and you kind of reached out, and I think you have a lot of active customers as well, and the non-English based models definitely were interesting for you, especially with Hebrew, and I guess even more with Hebrew is that it's more of a not as easy for some of the models as it's they're not trained as well, or maybe they don't have enough reference of it. So I kind of wanted to bring you on. You've done a lot of work. You have a pretty exciting sample application or demo application to talk about some of these things. So that's kind of where my thought for the main show is today, is how to tell your experiences of what you've been working on, what you found, like tips and tricks of other people who may be in a similar situation as well. So just kind of go from there.
Yeah. So as you said, in general, obviously the biggest focus on most of these training models is around Latin languages, English, things like that. The biggest issue with languages like Hebrew and maybe Arabic, although it's much more common, is that in terms of when you want to use applications that actually process documents and realize what they mean, they're not even written left to right; they're right to left. So the whole spectrum of the text is completely backwards for many of these things. Now, to be honest, the models themselves are actually, depending on the model, they'll get it right, because in the end, the models work semantically, right? But some of them are, miles ahead of others. Like we've been playing, you've been gracious enough to answer all of my requests to deploy models and try them out. And we've been playing with Mistral and Gemma and Qwen 3 and Llama 3 and all of these options. And from my testing, there's huge, completely different results whenever you try these models. I actually put a small document that I use for reference, because all of the models that I observed and what are the rankings that I'm identifying between them, right? So I think Mistral today is probably the best. Obviously, we're talking about what we call offline or / air-gapped models. If you have access to Gemini or OpenAI, you're good. You're probably good to go in that regard. But if you want to run something locally, you need models that were trained on Hebrew or Arabic or whatever it may be, and you need models that I tend to see things like Qwen 3 that does some reasoning that helps as well. So this is really, really important stuff. Now, beyond that, if we're talking about our famous RAG applications, maybe if you have a 3-second crash course in RAG. Can you still see my screen? Because now I'm presenting.
Yeah, we can see it. Good.
Okay. So, Spring AI in general is just this awesome solution that, does all of these things: chat client, RAG application, model context protocol, conversational memory, function calling, everything you really want in a framework, right? Working with AI. Sure. And one of these features is retrieval augmented generation. Now, what it does in a nutshell is kind of tricking the model, because you want to use the model to work on your own data or your own data structure, right? So you want to take, thousands of documents, millions of documents, maybe they're PDFs. Usually we see that a lot, or just Word documents, whatever it may be. And you want the model, whatever model it is, to basically answer questions on that data, right? Now, in order to do that, what we're doing is the process of embedding. And embedding basically takes for example, the PDF, and the embedding process turns it into the numerical representation that a large language model can understand. And then you run things like a similarity search. So you take 1 million documents, they're all now embedded in the database. Maybe it's a PG vector on the platform. And then you have a question, and you run a similarity search between the question and those millions of vector results, right? And the things that are closest are going to be returned to you. And then you kind of, in a way, hack the hack the actual chat, because you basically provide the prompt that basically gives the answer, and then you ask the question and you tell the model, based on this information that I just retrieved from my vector store, answer this question, right? So maybe I have a list of regulations for my insurance company, whatever it is, right? So I'm going to ask a question, am I allowed to procure this particular expense? And it's going to run this vector store on all of the environment. Maybe I do it in some sort of an ETL job, right? So I just take all of the data, I split it, I chunk it, because I can't basically return hundreds of pages back to the model. I'm limited by the context size. I just want the correct pages where that makes sense, right? So I save that to a vector store. And then when I ask the question, I just run in pgvector, it's just a similarity search query against a vector store. And you get back the relevant chunks. And then you say, well, this is the data. Now here's the question. Give me the answer based on that only. And do not use your world knowledge or whatever it may be to answer that model, right? So that's in a nutshell how RAG works in the simplest terms. And that works really, really great, unless your data is, if you have garbage in when you process the data, you're going to get garbage out. And obviously this is an AI picture that was generated earlier today.
Hey, it looks pretty solid, right? It's angry. I like it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of what I experienced, right? Because what I had in my application that I wrote, I think I have it running here, is that when I was doing the embedding, I was using the standard, Spring AI provided PDF document, whatever it's called, like the document reader, right?
Right.
And that reader, it appears, does not work well with PDFs in Hebrew or any right-to-left language, for that matter, okay, out of the box, because we're just using a third-party framework for that. We don't develop it ourselves. So the result is that my vector store in the database kind of looks like this. Now, I'm sure you can read this very well, right? I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I can guarantee you this is all backwards. Like basically, the entire text is like in reverse. And as a result of that, basically the model says, look, I have gibberish. I don't know how to answer that. He just finds a few words here in English and uses that for reference, right? Which is not exactly what you want. So that's pretty much what I was facing. And for the longest time, I've been thinking, wow, these models are really not good in Hebrew. Because I was thinking, well, I'm sure the embedding part worked well, probably. And then I'm asking it questions and it says, look, it's just a bunch of gibberish in Hebrew. I don't know what to tell you. So I was like, well, this is not a good model. Let's go to that model. Eventually, you go to OpenAI, and OpenAI tells you the same thing, and you say, okay, something here doesn't make sense, right?
Right. Yeah. So I guess it kind of makes sense if all the embeddings are backwards. Right.
If the input to the embedding is backward, the words don't make sense, and the embedding don't make sense.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you think about that, it's not that crazy of an idea, but not something to
garbage in, garbage out.
Easy. Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So what I did in my application, I basically just wrote my own, I just used PDF Box in this case, which is a third-party solution that seems to work much better in Hebrew. You have the ability to define sort by position and all kinds of things. And you just, I just embed the strings that it returns back to the application. So that's what I'm doing here. And then, it's a lot of testing. So here's our beloved platform. And I have, so I have I could have just done CF push live, but this takes 2 minutes. So I just pushed 3 versions of the same code connected to different models. One of them is connected to Qwen 3 right here.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have the same for the 2 others.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then you just, this is how the application looks.
Oh, nice.
And you can, so you can upload documents here. In whatever language of your choice. We also support I also support Microsoft Word in this case, so that works well out of the box. You don't have to do anything special here. I can tell you I learned a lot about Cloudflare timeouts in your environment, because when you want to embed a lot, you need to set a heartbeat every 30 seconds. Otherwise, it would just give you an error. but it was a good lesson for me. So that's really cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have like a conversation ID, which is like
That's the
pretty much
Spring
because
memory. Yeah.
yeah, for the Spring memory, if I want to, obviously everyone sees the whole data now. This is not really production ready, right? So if I want to simulate multiple conversations, I just change the conversation ID and I can just ask for a summarize the documents if I can type correctly, right? And hopefully that would, after a bit of time, would return. Another interesting thing I learned about Cloudflare is that it does not show the streaming part 100%, which is very interesting because when I ran this locally, I got like, the stream itself. Qwen is interesting because Qwen has a thinking model,
Right.
like all of this part is basically the thinking section. So in my app, it's between two think brackets in the response. So you can remove that if you want. So that's what I did here. And eventually it should return just the final result without the actual data. It will take
Yeah, well,
a few
I need
seconds.
to look in some of my Cloudflare logs and see how my
It's very interesting. Yeah.
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 Well, they
I've been
do some
surprised.
things. I know like the upload things and stuff, but yeah, that's how I deliver my Coon Web Services is delivered. My what do they call it? There's a term, CDN. My content delivery network is Cloudflare, and that's how
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
make my data center available across the globe. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. Maybe we're getting a block somewhere, but yeah,
Yeah.
that could be the stream is always. This is all great feedback. Thank you for I'll log this as in a
No, this is
future
actually, I think,
improvement area.
good practice. I think it's very good practice because you don't, I mean, the reasons they do it is very true. Like, if I'm going to upload something and I'm going to wait for like 10 minutes for a response, that's a
Right.
very easy denial of service attack. So, what you basically have to do in the Spring application, in the backend here, I believe, where was that here, right? There's like a heartbeat. Yeah. So you just send like a heartbeat every few seconds to say, yeah, I'm still here. Okay. And then you basically, when you get the final result, then you start streaming the response, or in this case, just finish embedding the documents. So you have both of them. So you got the response here. This is like, these documents detail a mix of technical documentation, yada, yada, Spring Essentials, all the information. I thought, well, I don't know what language the document is at. So if it's in the English UI, I will assume it's English documents. And you can switch the language to Hebrew here. And if it's Hebrew UI, I'm going to assume it's Hebrew documents. But then I thought, well, this is not very user-friendly. So fairly easily you can just let the app itself decide which is the dominant language in the text, in the input text, based on like characters of, UTF, whatever it is. And it will decide itself if this is Hebrew or English,
Right.
and that's how it decides it here, right? So you should be able to ask in whatever language, in both languages, and depending on the UI, it should return the correct response in the correct language in this case.
Oh, so it's going to give you the summary now back in Hebrew.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't
Right.
matter what language the document is in, because again, embeddings, semantic search, that's the whole point, right? It should be able to translate it for you. So if things go well, it will work. It will respond in Hebrew now. So I did a lot of A/B testing. I can tell you that in your
Oh yeah, I
environment
bet.
to
Yeah.
figure out which models are best for this use case. Very, very interesting results. Qwen is promising. It's definitely the fastest there is when you have like limited GPU capacity. But Gemma and Mistral seem to have like a slight upper edge in this case for
Yeah.
these use cases. Yeah.
So that's I really like how you did the when you toggle that the UI cuts over very cleanly back and forth. Like, that's
Oh, there
very
you go.
nice.
So this is the response now in Hebrew. Exactly,
Very cool.
almost to the word. Yeah, it works quite well.
Yeah, I could see this this being very useful, especially for all of your customers for sure. But do you know if, or do you have any plans to see if you can add additional language support? Or you mentioned Arabic is similar to Hebrew.
I'm pretty sure it's just I just started with these two languages. I don't think there's a lot of limitations beyond just deciding the right to left, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the
Mm-hmm.
code itself, the front end has like a translation layer where you just find and replace. So you could easily add like more languages to the UI. And just the right to left stuff is the complex thing
Yeah.
here. Yeah. I have a few ideas how I want to improve this. Like, obviously, I want to have like a better chat memory. Right now, it's like inside the process. That's the default. But
Mm-hmm.
if I want to scale it out to like 3 instances, obviously that's not going to cut it. So you want to have like a JDBC or Redis backend, so you can wherever you come from, whatever instance, you're going to get the same chat memory.
Right.
I am working. Actually, have a version that I'm developing right now to add like like the chat history, like you have in ChatGPT, like your past conversations, so you can go back
Right.
and continue a conversation from there. That's I think that's like a given. I've been thinking how to do because you need like a title for each one of them, so you can use the model to do the summary, right? So you can select the first 3 questions or whatever and say, give me a 5-word summary of these questions, and that will be like the title, like you have in ChatGPT or
cool.
OpenWebUR, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And definitely something like a single sign-on. Cloud Foundry have the single sign-on tile. That should be fairly easy to implement because right now everyone sees all documents. This is not exactly what you'd want.
Yeah. Tie it to individual user ID. That'd be very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
You already have
absolutely.
Postgres in there for all the embedding things. So yeah, I think
Exactly. Yeah.
very cool. I know earlier you're mentioning that you even had an iOS version of this that you're working on.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's see if that works. That's interesting. I'm gonna try to share my iPhone screen.
Via Zoom, via StreamYard.
What could go wrong, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is extra credit. We'll see if we can get this to actually stream properly.
Share a screen. Oh my God, so many tabs hiding other tabs. Let's see. Share. Do we see that?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
we do.
add to stage. Oh, this looks like an iPhone. Okay.
It is.
Cool.
That is my iPhone. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So still work in progress. But if I do, let's see. So this is. Oh, it switched to dark mode. That's cool.
Nice.
So that was for free. I didn't do anything to do to have that.
Yeah,
I
nice.
showed it to you earlier. It was regular, right? That's
Well,
cool.
is it did your phone switch over? Do you have like the timing based
Yeah, exactly. That's the
modes? Yeah,
default.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
I have like older chats here. These are kept in device, so so you can see like in the beginning it was kind of wonky,
Right, right.
and then I improved it so it should. If I find a chat that has some data, let's see. This one is better, right? So you actually have like a full summary of information, things like that. Works pretty
Very
well.
cool.
Yeah. So I want to give this a go because in iOS 26. Oops. Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I stopped the corrector. I thought I closed the wrong window. Sorry.
Yeah, you're still here. We lost your phone,
I'm
but I
still
think
here.
that was intentional. Yeah.
That was
Very cool.
intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So in iOS 26, they have these foundation models that run on device. So that would be like a perfect candidate to do like this, new chat summary, like the name of the chat that you're in. I want to play with that and see like how well can you go with these sort of things.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have like a little yeah, the concept of the smaller models working into the bigger model situation,
Oops,
or
I'm
like
still showing.
yeah. Oh, do you want me to take off screen there? Perfect.
Got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's very,
that
very
was a
interesting
great.
because this works with your backend, right?
Right.
In your environment. That's the beauty of it. So it's the same backend, same application running on Cloud Foundry, just 2 different UIs. It also forces you to think like, how do I get a correct backend that doesn't like work with like one HTML front end or whatever it is. So it's
Very
a good
cool.
idea, right?
Yeah. So I think this was the first iOS app that's been written to attach to the Coon Web Services. So thank you again for that. You're definitely putting a lot of testing on my infrastructure. So I appreciate it.
I'm sorry for your electric bill this month.
Oh,
That's
it's okay.
partly
No,
because of me.
I just stopped. I just stopped looking at the bills, and they just get paid. But
Yeah.
One day that'll catch up with me. No, it's all good. So let's see here. So we great demonstration here. The demo gods were in our favor. Thank
Yeah.
you. Everything worked out well. Let's see. Do you have any other topics you want to kind of dive into? We can. I saw that you. I guess I want to give you a shout out. You had the diagram of the Spring Pet Clinic out there too. You've definitely had a lot of
Oh
mileage,
yeah.
or you've had your hand in that application for quite some time too. So that's
Yeah. I've done
another one
like
of your projects you've been working on too.
I've been working on like a chatbot for the famous pet clinic application.
Mm-hmm.
That was really. I think there's a blog on this. Let's see if this one still works. ai.tanzutime.com. That should still work. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's share again. So many windows. There it
This
is.
is the way.
This is
Tabs
the
and
way.
windows everywhere.
Yeah. So there's a blog post about this, and in the Spring blog, which basically goes over like just like an introduction. How do you add like a chatbot type of a thing to an existing application? Because really there are many there are many frameworks to do AI stuff these days. I think the biggest benefit of Spring AI is you already have all of these applications, your enterprise applications developed using Spring. Why do you want to go out and develop in a completely different language, maybe Python, if you already have all of that investment done? So this is a great example of how you can reuse your existing, REST APIs and databases and whatever it is, and just extend them to Model Context Protocol and everything like that. I'll go over here, like how do you set like the system text, right? Because this is obviously not the default. So with the proper system text, it's going to be like an assistant for the Spring Pet Clinic, things like that. Fairly, I think a very detailed one. There's like a GitHub repo. I think it's in the official one. So it's here in the link somewhere. You can just go to ai.tanzutime.com and get to this blog. Or just actually,
very nice.
Yeah, or just
Very cool.
oded.org. That's my blog, so you can check it out here.
Oh yeah. So we'll have to link to your blog and all your repos here too within the show notes. So
Cool.
And make sure you get the word out here. But I mean, we're about 30 minutes in. I know it's pretty late your time, so if we want to kind of wrap it up a little early, I'm totally okay with that. If you have other topics you want to discuss, we can keep going. But I'll leave it up to you, since I know it's definitely late your time.
Yeah, just one thing that was quite interesting. We haven't spoken a lot about the embedding part. We use Nomic Embed, which is really good in general also for Hebrew or Arabic or whatever it is. Also, there's M5. How is that called? There's another very famous embedding model that's been used.
Oh, is it the BGE or the
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So during my testing, it was quite interesting. None of the models except for OpenAI knew how to spell spring, like not, summertime or springtime, but the framework, but just written in Hebrew characters correctly. Like no one, if I were to like upload this document that's like a Spring App Advisor and enterprise support document, and I were to ask in Hebrew, summarize, can I do automatic upgrades in Spring, but I ask it in Hebrew, it would have no idea, unless I use the OpenAI embedding model, which is like, it's the only one that could figure out Spring in English is actually Spring in Hebrew, just written like that. So there's still work to be done. We're not there yet in this domain. That's my point. So you can get by what I would say like with 70-80% of the use cases today, but if you have access to SaaS, it helps a lot. But our customers usually need these solutions on-prem. This is the most important things that they have, and they want to run these, and they don't want to give their data to the ChatGPT and the Google of the world for a good reason.
Yeah.
So it makes sense they want to run it locally, and they would take the 20% hit probably in that case.
Well, yeah, I think it's definitely interesting because these more and more models keep releasing, and I think too there's this is just Nick's general banter about AI. But like when DeepSeek first came out, like the DeepSeek R1, they had other models before for quite some time, but that's when they first became super popular. There is this like fear that like, oh no, like because they had a new training methodology that used a lot less time and resources that we were going to use so many less resources in this AI situation. And if anything, I think that the opposite has become quite true, and we're seeing more and more models release. The Quen just updated Quen 3 with a timestamp update, and we're starting to see that more and more. Some of these local and open source models are just dropping timestamp updates, and they're pretty large updates still, but I think it's like a 405 billion. I can't remember the exact parameters, but it's another mixture of experts, but still requires like 35 or 40 billion active parameters. So, and it's definitely scoring pretty well. Even going up to Claude. So I think we're starting to see more and more. But even running that will still take a significant amount of resources. So I think the GPU consumption and maybe even a mixture consumption where some of these models where you can run some of the layers on GPUs and offload most of the other layers to RAM because the mixture of experts model, we might be able to see some interesting combinations on prem to get some very good results, but not requiring.
We're just getting started. It's quite obvious.
H200s. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we're still just scratching the surface for sure. Yeah.
This is like a Web 1.0 of this revolution for sure. Yeah.
And then you have all the agentic stuff happening too, all over the place.
Yeah.
As well,
this is like, it seems like agentic stuff is like the next big wave, and it's still like trying to find how do I apply it in a fundamental way with like some framework that would guide me, whatever it is. Google tried A2A. I don't know if that's going to work. Model Context Protocol is definitely going to be somehow integrated with it. It's like everywhere. And the agentic flows, or like how are you going to do this like end-to-end flows is like, I think it's still unsolved territory.
Right.
Very interesting stuff. And I know we work on a lot of interesting stuff internally, but nothing to share. But definitely interesting in that domain.
Yeah.
Should be very.
Stay tuned for more fun things, right? Yeah.
Spring AI 2.0. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Ooh.
Who knows?
Yeah. Very cool. But there's definitely a lot, and I guess too in terms of looking out for things. We definitely need to talk about quickly the VMware Explorer and Spring conferences happening in Las Vegas coming up, and Cloud Foundry Summit in the European version. It's happening in Frankfurt, Germany this year in October too. So if you're traveling or want to see Las Vegas, you can get some Spring and Explorer at the same time. I think it's I should know the dates of this, but it's in the middle to late August, and then early October is when the Cloud Foundry Day Germany is, or Europe is. So I'll be there at both of those, and you should check it out. But so just some shout outs about conferences happening, and it'll be interesting to see those timestamps where the AI mileage and tracks have gone, as every day seems to be.
Yeah, Spring One is going to be interesting this year. I understand it's not like a single day like before. It's going to be like it's part of the whole conference, which is going to be a lot more fun, I think, for attendees to be part of the bigger event. Lots of, the usual suspects are going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not jealous at all that I can't attend, but, next time.
Yeah.
Next time, yeah. I've been to Spring I/O this year. It's been amazing, as always. All of the Spring conferences, that's fun. That's in Barcelona, yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Every year, around May. So that's the next one to look out for after the Spring one, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Yeah. Book your trips now, right? Very cool. All right. Well, I guess, with that said, we're kind of coming to a close. Do you have any kind of closing thoughts for our audience? Anything to, to call out or to watch out for, or anything you're you're excited about, looking forward to in the future?
Definitely excited about future updates to the Gen AI tile in general, Cloud Foundry. We're investing a lot. I think we will both see it as a company, which is very, very exciting for me because I really love where this platform can go. Spring AI in general is just getting started. I think I've seen people use it in production before it even GA'd.
Yeah.
It's that popular.
Well, maybe that's the true test. Is it?
Yeah.
You may or may not have GA'd something, but is it being used in production somewhere? Maybe that's the true test of it, right?
Exactly. It's GA. Trust us.
Yeah.
It works. Something
Yeah,
like
I know.
that.
I've been running in production for a month now, so yeah, very cool. All right. Well, I guess also, before I forget, if you're watching,
Ooh.
you should don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. You can check us out at cloudfoundryweekly.com. We do every once in a while. I will pull these out of YouTube and StreamYard and get them posted in audio format only. So if you prefer the podcast version, that'll be out there as well. I'm falling a little bit behind again, but I'll get there. Yeah, that's kind of a high level summary here. Anything else, or are you ready to? Oh, I guess another question. Have you ever made it to the end of our episodes? Do you know how we close the show?
Oh, now I'm in a corner. I
know
there's like a slogan. I don't remember what it is. Something like that, right?
Well, it's we do a countdown 3, 2, 1, and then we wave off with a CF bye, and right. That's kind of how we close it. So,
all right.
You're not the only guest. I don't think we. A lot of we still thank you to all the live streamers right now too watching. We appreciate you. And we'll go there, but let's do the countdown here. 3, 2, 1. CF bye.
Bye.